A display now on BBC1 by that confidence trickster supreme, Sgt Bilko. Well, now, just before the weather, look at Tuesday night on BBC1. At 6:45 in Medical Express, we find Chris Searle locked up with a feeding machine, a device which monitors exactly how much we eat. The Tuesday film at 7:15 is The Last Command, a struggle for survival against the might of the Mexican army. At 9:25, Hypnosis and Healing investigates an increasingly important aid in the treatment of varied forms of illness. Then at 10:35, it's comedy, courtesy of Kelly Monteith. Come Dancing at 11:05 steps out in style with the first semi-final from Cheltenham Town Hall. And these are programmes tomorrow night on BBC1. Well, now, tomorrow's weather with Mike Fish.
Good evening to you. Well, a very static looking weather chart at the moment. We've had this area of high pressure stuck to the north of Scotland for a while now, and even tomorrow I think it's going to be there just about in the same place. The trouble is, although it's giving fine and dry weather just about everywhere, it is pulling the winds in from the northeast, and they're coming down over quite a cold North Sea, so the temperatures are none too brilliant, at least in eastern parts, and those winds are picking up a fair amount of cloud as well. In a day or two's time, though, I think that high will begin to relent and give way somewhat, and then we're going to see this frontal system out to the west begin to creep in, and come Thursday I think that may well be bringing some outbreaks of thundery rain, at least to northern and western parts, but at least at the same time the weather should be becoming somewhat warmer. But if we now look at the picture for midday tomorrow, as I said, of course, at the beginning, nothing really has changed. The high is still stuck to the northeast there of Scotland, and persistent east or northeasterly winds over most parts. Don't take too much notice of that front over the southwest, although it may just give one or two showers. But back to tonight now, and really for most central and eastern parts of the country, it will be a fairly cloudy, misty night, and just here and there, but more especially near to the east coast, there'll be a little bit of rain or drizzle in the wind as well. Clearer skies in the more western parts, with the exception, I think, of that southwestern corner and the Channel Islands, where that weak cold front might just give one or two showers. And the same actually is true of tomorrow, mostly in Cornwall, but perhaps in the Channel Islands, some rather cloudy weather from time to time with the odd shower about. But really it's these western areas that are going to see the best of the weather. Most places will stay dry, and there'll be some sunshine from time to time. The best of the sunshine in northwestern parts, that's Northern Ireland and western Scotland, where the day will turn out to be quite warm. In the more central and eastern areas of both England and Scotland, a grey, fairly misty start to the day, and in the easternmost counties, especially near to the east coast, it'll stay quite cool and grey and misty throughout the day, with a little drizzle from time to time. But further inland, I think, as the day goes on, at least the cloud will break just every now and again and give you one or two glimpses of the sun. Well, that's it. A very good night to you.
Radio 2 is, of course, on the air through the night, but you may also like to know that John Dunn returns tomorrow at 12 noon, and his guest will be Carl Davis. Other guests during the week include Jan Leeming and on Friday, James Mason. The John Dunn Show on weekdays on Radio 2 at noon. But the time now just after 12 minutes past 12, and it's time for me, Richard Straker, on behalf of all of my colleagues here on BBC1, to wish you a very warm good night. Good night.